I have a short video I recorded that just showing my home network. I see that these videos seem to be pretty popular. I do have a rack in my office. You'll see here first is a AT&T fiber connection. I'm not using the Wi-Fi or the routing features in it. I have the Wi-Fi disabled and I have the router in IP pass-through mode. So my main router is the one that actually gets my public IP address, so that I'm not behind a double NAT. Not that you can't work with a double NAT. That is being piped into this this Unified Dream Machine Pro. This one does have the 8 terabyte hard drive I put in this bay here for video recording for my security cameras. The Dream Machine Pro it does have several VLANs, like IoT VLAN, a server VLAN, home VLAN. I got like 4 or 5 VLANs. Nothing super fancy though. That's going to a 24 port switch from UniFi. This is just a 1 gigabyte switch, no PoE. You'll see a Cyber Power here. This is just a power strip. The little white bricks are Raspberry Pi bricks. And this is just a patch panel. In here you'll see 2 Raspberry Pis, and that white brick in the back is PoE injector for my Wi-Fi. The Raspberry Pis are running, one of them is just running WireGuard, and that's going to be discontinued when my router gets updated. The other one is running Docker, it's running Portainer, and it's running my Cloudflare connector back to Cloudflare that I'm using to point to various services or self-hosted applications. At the bottom of the rack, I have a Synology NAS. That has about 30 terabytes of data in it, but some of it's lost to redundancy. Over here is my Plex server. That has about 22 terabytes of storage in it. A little over 9 are used. So I've still got over 10 terabytes free in here. You'll see another Windows computer here that I built. This is one I use for a workstation. That's connected to these 2 monitors. This third monitor is connected to a Mac. And as you scroll back over, there's another server over here, which my cat is on. This is a Proxmox server, which you may have seen it in some of my videos when I'm doing demonstrations on a virtual machine, whether it's Windows or whatever, is usually running on this Proxmox server. And that's all from the physical aspect of it. It's not that fancy. I do not recommend putting your printer on the top, and I don't recommend putting a shelf at the top either, because it's very hard to reach anything. I should have put my switch and my and these ports at the top where I didn't need to reach inside the rack for anything. If I ever reassemble the rack or change everything up, I'm gonna do that. Also, my Wi-Fi is this UniFi U6 mesh. It's a fairly new model. It's Wi-Fi 6. It's not an optimal place. That's just where I had a wire already run and I just use it there. It does cover my 2-story house. I may move it one day and try to optimize it more, but it's working well as it is. First off, I do have a Unified Dream Machine Pro that I showed you. And you can see right here, it's got the Dream Machine Pro. That's behind my AT&T fiber. It's going into a 24 rack network switch. I have a switch also for my a PoE switch for UniFi cameras. It's unplugged at the moment. I also have a theater room switches in my TV movie room upstairs, which is hardwired. These are some obsolete things I'm not using, and I have the UniFi 6 mesh for my Wi-Fi. That's the one you saw in the video. To see it a little bit drawn out here, you can see I have my AT&T fiber coming into a UDM Pro 24 port UniFi switch. This is not PoE or anything. The UniFi mesh is connected to the Wi-Fi. The 6 UniFi Wi-Fi is connected to the 24 port switch. The switch is not PoE. And I have in my rack on that little shelf you saw, it has a PoE injector. All my portable devices, of course, are connected through the Wi-Fi. All my computers, servers, my Raspberry Pis, my televisions are all hardwired. I like to run a hardwire everywhere I can. I do have multiple VLANs. This is not really what this video is about, but I have like a main home LAN with my main computers. I have an IoT LAN for untrusted devices. I have one server type LAN that's where my Proxmox is, so I don't keep interfering, as I spin up machines and delete them. I don't interfere with my regular IP address space. Nothing too fancy. I do for services and stuff. I thought I'd talk about some of the software and services I use. I do have a, again, with this is my internet coming in. I do have a Proxmox server, which you saw in the video. And look, I'm not using enterprise used gear like a lot of guys do. But two reasons I had, as an upgrade, I have the parts for the spare computer. And the consumer grade stuff doesn't burn. I think my machines are idling at 50 watts or something. They're not burning a lot of power, and they don't make a lot of noise. So I'm using my Plex server and my Proxmox server are built on consumer hardware. This Proxmox server does not run 24 hours a day. It just runs sometimes. The Raspberry Pi, I also have Raspberry Pis, 2 of them in service right now. One of them is just a WireGuard server. That one's going to be taken out when my router gets updated. The other one is running Docker. It has my Cloudflare tunnel connector, which I'll show you that in a minute. And it's running Heimdall for a dashboard and several other services. Then I have my Plex and Synology servers. The Plex server's got about 22 terabytes, about a little over 9 terabytes used. My Synology has like 30 terabytes in it, but one of them is for redundancy, so not all that space is usable. I do use this Heimdall dashboard because it gets hard, and I don't have this one set up with a domain name yet, but I'm going to. It gets hard to remember, like, where's my NAS at? Where's my Proxmox server? Where is my Portainer? Where's my Pi-hole at? Either domain names or IP addresses for them. So I'm using this Heimdall dashboard. I like Heimdall. There's Homer. There's other ones. This one's very simple and easy. This one is running on one of my Raspberry Pis, and this is a Docker container. And this is in the Raspberry Pi that's running Docker. I can show you, all the virtual machines are turned off right now. This is my Proxmox server. You'll notice it has a domain name right here. That is only accessible to my internal network. I have it shut off anywhere else. This is using Cloudflare Tunnel, which is running on the same Raspberry Pi that this is. I also have my Portainer mapped to there, my Pi-hole mapped to there, so I can get to them. This video is not about the Cloudflare tunnels, but I am using that I'm not really using them as more of a learning experience. For VPNs, I do have the WireGuard server. I also use Tailscale, and I use ZeroTier quite a lot. The advantage of those is you don't have to have a hole open in the firewall. It's outgoing connections. You can roam around, go from place to place. They work fantastic. But that's basically it. It's not anything super complicated. I do also have on my I do have over here some in my desktop computer. I am running some virtual machines in Hyper-V, and I chose on this machine to go with Hyper-V instead of VirtualBox because of I like to use the Windows Sandbox, and I do have a Proxmox container. A Proxmox server. And that was about it.